Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Halloween Roundtable on AfterTaste. I'm joined again by our basically co-host, Chelsea Rodriguez. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. Are you ready to talk about this completely crazy movie that doesn't make any sense whatsoever?
Yeah.
Great.
I am.
Emma is also here. She's going to jump in with some of the crazy commentary.
I'm just going to sit here horrified, probably.
Well, it's the funny thing, because we're going to talk about crazy things that happen in our own commentary in our own heads, and then you're going to commentate on the commentary of our commentary watching the film.
Yeah.
Very intense, but that's why you're here. You're the color commentator to this situation.
Because on AfterTaste, that's how far we need to go.
Yeah.
Listen, please. So this Killer Klowns from Outer Space was a 1988 classic. It was directed by Steven Shido and written by Charles Shido and produced by the other brother, was just Shido. And they did a couple other movies in the 80s. They did a movie called Critters in 1986, which is basically just a Gremlins type of movie.
Yeah.
Just bonkers, out of this world, crazy type of movie. And they also did Team America, which is weird.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they did Team America.
That's random.
America.
Fuck yeah.
She'll say,
All right.
He'll say it. Do we get 60 seconds in? Are we fine? We don't make money. It's fine. So, 1988 classic film that just has the 80s dripping from every single part of it. Mm-hmm. I'll start off by saying that it looks like garbage. The lines are garbage.
Yeah.
But that's the best part of the movie. It starts off with they go up to Lover's Lane, which is very much an 80s Grease.
Yeah.
It's an old thing.
It's a staple.
And then these two ice cream men just pull up in their ice cream truck and they're trying to sell their ice cream. It's just a bonkers type of movie in general. And basically, while they're up there in Lover's Lane, they see a meteorite that goes that way, and they're like, "Wow, we got to go check it out because this is an '80s movie, and that's what we do.
Let's investigate.
Let's investigate that thing that clearly was 10,000 miles away, but it's not. It's right there." So they go investigate, and it's a big old circus tent. It's first investigated by a big old bloodhound dog and his old tropey. Redneck type of trucker guy.
Yeah.
And the dog's name was Pooh Bear. I was so excited when I remembered that. And they don't show Pooh Bear dying, which is great. They just show a really cheesy portal situation.
We'll kill everyone else except the dog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The dog has to
We'll kill the yokel. We'll teleport
here's
the dog.
the funny thing. This movie does a lot of saying that they're dying, but they don't all necessarily die. We don't actually have a kill count. It'd be really... Who's the guy that does the kill count?
So James A. Janice of Dead Meat.
Great.
And he did actually do a kill count, and it was so stressful on him.
I mean, how can you even tell in this movie who's dying and who's not? There's one point where one of the clowns is making a shadow puppet on the wall, and then he turns into a big old T-Rex thing and chomps them.
Yeah.
And then he puts them in a purse or something. We don't know if those people are dead.
Yeah.
It's a crazy freaking movie. Pooh Bear, I think, dies. I just have a feeling about it, unfortunately. But it's a 1980s film, so super low budget. The CGI is just... It's what it is, man.
They
attempted it.
There was an attempt made.
I wasn't able to look up the budget, but it had to be no money.
It was $2 million.
It was $2 million.
Yeah,
that's a lot more than I thought it was.
Yeah.
To be completely honest. Well, $2 million in 1988 is it's actually a lot bigger than.
I'll do the inflation math while you.
Nice, that's pretty good actually. But yeah, they go check out these things, and the reason I like this movie so much, and it's very much a cult classic in many circles. This movie does get watched quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it's one of those movies that's very much a kill for kill scene, right? So it's basically their transitions are just creative, cheesy kill scenes from clowns showing up at people's house.
Exactly. Using different methods of...
Using different, really kind of cool, funny methods. Walking up to this nice middle-aged lady's house and here's a heart. And she's he turns to her husband. It's oh, thank you, Carl. And then, they die. The thing I was talking about before, the shadow puppets turning into a T-Rex.
That's the one I was going to bring up. The pizza delivery one.
The pizza delivery. Wow.
It's just weird.
It's crazy. There's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie was one of them pull up on like a big wheel to like a motorcycle gang.
Yeah.
And they get off. They play up the whole the motorcycle gang trope. And he comes over and he breaks the clown's little trike. And then the clown like turns around, puts on boxing gloves, and punches the guy's head off in a really, really awfully made CGI moment, which is just, it's so fun. They have these blaster things, which are they look like the Astro Blaster guns from like Disneyland, and they zap you and they put you into a cotton candy cocoon.
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
What? So we don't actually know if they're dead in there.
Yeah.
Except for the one where they stabbed it with a curly cue of a like straw that was like whoa.
Yeah.
And it drank all of its blood, so that one's dead.
So
That
they're
one's
like
dead for
storing
sure.
them for later.
I think that's. I mean,
Yeah, they're supposed to be like storing them for like sustenance for later.
I think that's why this is such a cult classic, because there is so much that you could like look into as like, what's going on here?
Exactly.
Were they storing them? Do they need to take them back to another planet? They didn't make it because it exploded.
Mission failed.
Mission failed. They're all failures. And you could just, Chelsea, you talk about this movie. I'm sorry, I'm tired of ranting about it.
But I did find the equivalent of its budget now, which is still pretty low, but you could definitely imagine someone making this same movie for this amount of money now. So it turns out that $2 million back
then.
in roughly 1980 would be about $6.2 million now.
Okay.
So probably what you would pay an A-lister in their first Marvel movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of contract.
Yeah.
Okay.
So still, I mean,
It's like, oh wow, that's one Jeremy Renner.
that's the perfect price point. How did you do that?
Nice.
But yeah, this movie had a lot of cool like transition scenes. I can't even tell you much of a plot line except for that. It's just them trying to survive killer clowns.
Yeah.
There was the main character's guy was like, what was it? It's like one of those 80s names, like Mike something. I can't. Sorry.
We'll just call him Ralph Macchio for now.
He's basically Ralph Macchio.
If it turns out that it is, then damn.
The main character's name was Mike. Is it Tobacco?
Mike Tobacco.
Oh my
Yes. I remember seeing that. I was like, wow, 80s. This is amazing.
We want to give him the coolest name ever.
We also, I feel like we have to talk.
Did they get their budget from Philip Morris? It's just a
Might have
movie
been.
to...
Exactly.
It's like, no, kids, stay away from candy and popcorn. Hang out with Mike Tobacco.
Yes.
As our protagonist.
I feel like this film and the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory could go into a very good double feature.
Oh, wow.
It would bring out the darkness of the Chocolate Factory for sure.
Or cotton candy.
Or cotton candy. I feel so like violated about this cotton candy situation.
Because just the way the cocoons look is so... It's gross.
Here's the thing. I believe that Bing Bong is one of cinematic's strongest characters, and I find him to be the source of innocence, what's left of your childhood,
Yeah.
and all things right in the world. Also, cotton candy cocoons, where people get drinking like Capri Suns. You see, my world was rocked in a small moment,
God.
and Killer Clowns did that to me. So if you could make a film like that, and
Yeah.
it can transcend time for 20-some-odd years and ruin a 28-year-old man's, like, joy. There's
doing
something.
something.
They're doing something,
Well,
right?
now you know Bing Bong's not just dead with little Riley. It's also dead with Brian.
This is why I miss my studio. I could look around and find joy. Except now Bing Bong sits right there next to me, and I'm going to just cry openly every time I look
Thanks
at
a
him.
lot, Killer Clowns.
Thanks a lot, Killer Clowns.
Oh my god, Killer Clowns ruined Inside Out for you.
Yeah. I think my emotions were just in a whirlwind. It's okay. I'll be okay.
They were just hitting all the buttons that day.
Yeah. Damn it, Disney. Also, let's talk about my favorite character in like the whole movie, which was Mooney, the naysaying cop.
Oh my
who
God,
his
yes.
actor was John Vernon. He was like one of the main stars of Dirty Harry and a
Yeah.
lot of those other like Western films back in the day. He did Walker Texas Ranger,
Not Toxic Avenger.
Toxic Avengers.
Walker Toxic Avenger, yes.
He was also National Lampoon's Animal House. Like he's one of those character actors. That's very much a one-trick pony, but he was so funny for me throughout the film. And got taken out by one of those little whistleblower things. It's such a tragic thing.
I know. Yeah, he was my favorite character.
He was so good.
Wait, by like a slide whistle?
Oh, it was like the things that you blow at like a birthday party. And it's like, woo!
The party favor ones. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh,
Wasn't even a big one. He
no.
was just sitting there. He put the poor clown in jail, and he thought he was fine.
Nope.
The whole movie just ignoring every sign, which is so good because he's ignoring the signs like a horror movie trope kind of. And yeah, he's ready to fight a clown. And
There's always got to be one person that's like, oh, come on, guys. What are the chances? We'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm just completely ignoring like the other main character's guy, but like he calls in and he's like, there's clowns killing everybody. Like, you're not taking me down. I got through Nam. You can't pull this on me. Which
it's like, even as a police officer, couldn't you just like believe that it was people dressed as clowns?
Yeah, no, he's just like,
going and killing people.
And I do apologize to the Vietnam vets, but I believe it was the Korean War that he was in. Either way, he was a delight, and now he's dead. And then they used him like a ventriloquist doll.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Pulls his hand out, it's all bloody, and it just feels so bad. It feels wrong.
Oh, this movie.
That's why I like it so much. It's
Again,
just because it's like cheese.
It's so grotesque, and you had to know that it's like they were doing this full intent, like seriously, but obviously pepper in some comedy kind of things. That this has got to be, just from premise alone, the kitschiest thing I have ever heard of. It is so campy.
Yeah.
And the fact that they even gave him $2 million to make this movie.
Yeah.
They gave him a Jeremy Renner's amount to make it.
I actually consider this movie because it's like in like that special like 80s camp of just weird, bizarre
Where it's like, this could have never been made at any other point.
This does not age well either at all.
Yeah.
There are so many points that are inappropriate for today's climate.
Oh, yes,
that
definitely.
So many different people would be so upset.
Two other movies like I recommend that you should probably do if you were to like do a triple feature to this is
we're doing triple feature Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka, Attack of the Killer Clowns.
Night of the Creeps, which is it's a part alien invasion zombie movie that's very campy. It's self-aware.
Wait, I remember this.
The one with, I think it's Scott Adkins.
Yeah.
Who I love. That and Terror Vision, which is also such a schlocky, terrible. Once again, like all of these have like outer space invasion themes too, but that one's more like about like the riffs on like consumerism with television and whatnot.
Now I'm remembering this one. Yeah,
those like I would love to do a triple feature of those because I've watched like two of those at least back to back. It works great. They're just all bonkers and weird.
Can you just call it Welcome to Camp?
Exactly. Let's spend your day watching all these different types of bizarre movies.
Here's the gaslit love of Johnny X. It's awful.
A couple more awesome parts of this movie. They made balloon animal dogs that just ran around and barked. They were like the bloodhounds. Maybe they took the spirit of Pooh Bear and they put it inside of him.
And then replicated
Maybe
it.
he didn't die. They just took his brain.
No, because that wouldn't possibly kill the dog attached to it, Brian.
Have you ever seen Futurama or whatever it is? I don't like Futurama. That's a hot take. Do you guys like Futurama?
I do.
I did.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't watch it.
It's fine.
It is what it is. So they had the balloon animal dogs, and then they had bazookas that shot popcorn on people, which was tops. Also, I learned that if you have a clown car, it's kind of like a bag of holding in D&D, where you can fit like 95 people in there.
Oh man, now it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a bag of holding. I could have went a Harry Potter reference. I went a D&D reference for this one. You could fit anything in there, and it'll take a blast from a spaceship that explodes. Because everybody, the ice cream guys, the Deputy Dewey, not Deputy Dewey character, but the whatever his name is, we can't remember.
Anger cop.
Anger cop. No, he was a level-headed cop. He was the lover boy cop who. That's the thing. I like that there's like an inherent romance story that nobody cares, and they never tried to matter. They never tried to make it matter.
Where they're just like, we're in love. Yes, we are.
All
Nothing.
Right. Clowns. That's the thing that matters.
Clowns.
And then at the end,
That's the wall between their love.
clowns.
If only these clowns were keeping them apart.
I love this is like the third movie in like the past like 6 weeks we talked about clowns.
Yeah, this is the movie that started clowns, right? I want to say it started the clown phase like 25 years ago.
Yeah, there we go.
I think you'd be right.
This is the precursor
This
to
is the
like
precursor to
I mean,
everything.
obviously there were already people that had fears of clowns,
I
but
do.
this movie didn't help.
No.
Not to connect these movies at all because they're not too super similar, but there was a scene in Killer Clowns where this young blonde like 8-year-old girl was like seduced by a clown to just leave her parents and go to the clown.
Yeah, because kids
When
are
is
dumb
that-
if they don't know stranger danger.
When has that ever been a thing that like I can never think of a time where clowns were appealing to children.
Neither
Even
could I.
like and apparently they used to be appealing and fun and
I don't.
Yeah, like, you know, you'd hire them for like a birthday party or something.
I can't
But now
imagine
I
that now.
think we've kind of ruined clowns for everyone with the movies that
They're
come
ruined.
out.
And you always hear I've heard of like many lawsuits brought against like films using the likeness of clowns from clown unions and
Oh
stuff
my
like that.
God.
Because it really did take a dump on their whole situation.
Hey man, sorry, it's what people are scared of. So we're going to exploit it for money.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I think that's going to be it for this conversation. It was a wonderful conversation. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I recommend going to check that out. It's a cult classic. You walk into a Spirit Halloween this Halloween, you're going to see like 15 different clown masks, and a lot of them will be from the likeness of Killer Clowns from
Your
Outer
next
Space.
group costume idea.
Exactly. Whatever you do, don't get one of those masks and terrorize people because you are awful people if you do that. There was like a couple years ago when like people started dressing as clowns and like generally terrorizing people.
I did not like the aspect of like them like just like standing on people's porches.
Yeah, it was
like,
really
that's
creepy. People,
Yeah.
like, it was
I used to work at a K through 8 school, and there was this like 6th or 7th grader that was like intentionally like looking scared and pointing behind very little kids.
No, yeah.
Going, oh, clown! And we had kids like breaking down and crying because of this jerk. And
Yeah.
so it was just like, he tried to do that to me, and I was just like, I had a compact mirror in my pocket and I put it in his face.
do it.
Or it's like, oh, this is like the Uno reverse card before it. Ding!
Exactly. Also, when the first It came out, they had a really good marketing campaign where
Ooh,
they
yeah.
were like they were like going around putting like red balloons by like
Everywhere.
everything.
Yeah.
Which was really good marketing.
I
but
like that.
It started the craze again of like paranoia of clowns and stuff like that. You couldn't tell where the marketing ended and where these like creepy, because there were people actually committing crimes.
Exactly.
wearing
It's
clown
like,
Yeah,
it's
not-
like how much like was
Not
publicity.
necessarily like murders and assaults, but
no.
more like trespassing and general
sure.
vandalism.
Exactly.
And-
yeah, soliciting pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like go do something with yourself. Stop.
Get a life.
Or it's like, dude, go find this marketing agency and offer your services.
Right?
Get a job like Joaquin Phoenix in Joker. Go check that out. Another clown movie out right now. That's going to be it for our conversation on Killer Clowns. Chelsea, thank you so much for jumping into this clown universe with me once again. Emma, thanks for talking about clowns for first time. It's just good times. And thank you so much for listening on Aftertaste, and we will see you next time.